I want to play a little bit of a clip from the segment of my live stream that I just did this past Friday, talking about what I believe their true intentions are as far as Chicago goes in this upcoming election and what I believe. Now, mind you, what I'm saying in this clip are my own thoughts. I did not get influenced by anybody else to say what I said, but this is my true belief. And to around the 20-minute mark, it was very early on in the live stream that I did. It was the one I was talking about with Chicago and Portland and them sending a certain element into those areas and what I believe their true intentions are, and then what I believe is coming up with this election. And then something else that made me want to put this in here is when I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw somebody leave a comment that literally echoed exactly what I said like the very next day. So like I said, these are my own thoughts, and I think a lot of people do agree with me on this, but I don't think many people are thinking that far ahead. But this is what I truly believe. I could be wrong, but I have a strong feeling that I could be right. So I'm going to play this clip for y'all right here so y'all can understand where I'm coming from. That they shot, it's not a large, massive amount of people that they claim that do all of these shootings. It's usually a very small bunch, like maybe one, two, maybe three, no more than five. And they will put the person's mugshot out there. They'll put their name out there. And I said, okay, that's believable. But when you say that it was 60-something shootings over the weekend and these amount of people died and there's still no arrest and no suspects, or they're still doing investigations, I'm like, does anybody not find that weird? Now, watch what's going to happen. They're going to send all those people into Chicago to quote unquote clean up the place. Then the stuff is going to start to slowly go down, quote unquote. That's because the ones who's actually doing it are going to stop. It's all a setup. It's pretty much all a show right now. That's pretty much all it's going to be. Then that's when they're going to say, oh, see, 45 stuck to his word. So now, come November, we know who we're going to vote for. Notice all of this is going on during an election year. If the crime, quote unquote, goes down in Chicago, you don't hear about all these wild shootings like you usually do. And it's an election year. What's the real plan? It's to get reelected and claim and basically secure his victory and say that, oh, it's because of him. Meanwhile, all of this stuff was going on before an election year and not a damn thing happened. But ironically, you send the military in during the election year. And he has to find a way to save face because with everything going on with this virus, he is losing and spiraling out of control. Because he knows he's losing the people because of how he is mishandling this virus in this quote unquote pandemic. If you look at all the other nations and how they handled it, compared to America, the United States, who was like the 4th or 5th place to get it, and how we just completely eclipsed everybody else. Like I said, it's all a part of the plan. Like the Joker said in The Dark Knight, it is all a part of the plan. And that's pretty much it right there. I don't think I said too much more after that. And I think I started to segue into the next topic. But I truly believe he's doing this so he can get those votes to get back in office. And if you've noticed, this isn't just happening in Chicago and Portland, but people are honing in on Chicago because that's the place where they constantly put out there all the time. And then what I'm seeing in some comment sections is people who don't even like Trump or despise 45, mainly people who look like us, are praising him for doing this. I'm like, do y'all not see what's really happening here? And then I get looked at like I'm crazy and like I don't know what I'm talking about. I got into it with people on Twitter who tell me all the time and say, oh, you don't live in Chicago, you're not from Chicago, you don't know what you're talking about. And this is not me dismissing them. If they've lost a loved one due to gun violence or anything like that, I offer my condolences. But one thing I always ask them is, have they found the suspect? And they usually either not respond to me at all or they come back and say no. I said, this is what we're talking about here. I've done plenty of videos where I talked about how in Chicago, if they do have a perp, if they do have a suspect, they'll find them. And I've done videos where they have found suspects in Chicago before for gun violence, quote unquote. And it never is one where they put all these wild high numbers out there, but people fall for it because the media has constantly pushed this over and over and over again, that now it's psychologically ingrained into people's heads that Chicago is this inherently violent city. And I also was reading through the comments and I saw something about Chicago called Riverwalk or something like that. And someone said how they're trying to protect that. And I said, I wonder, is this Riverwalk predominantly white? Is it like a suburb or something like that? Is it something being gentrified or anything like that? And that's all I could run through my mind. So if anyone who lives in Chicago who's see if my hypothesis was correct about this place, but the way that this person left that comment, it almost sounds like it's something that is very highly palm color or something that's being gentrified, or if it's not already been gentrified. But all I'm imploring is that people really think ahead of this thing right here, because this is way more than what people think it is. It's definitely like, we live in America. Everything they do is calculated. This isn't something they just decided to do this year. This is something they've been planning for a while. I just need us as black people to really see everything for what it is, because a lot of us only see the surface, and that's as far as we'll see. We don't go beneath it and go to the core of what's really going on here. Because notice that they're going to start doing this in other black areas, because they already put the stigma that we are the most violent people ever. Why do you think they keep pushing and peddling this 13% of the population, 50% of the crime? They keep pushing it. Why do you think they keep increasing the prison population with a lot of black bodies, even though many of them shouldn't be there right now? It's all, like I said in this clip, like the Joker said in The Dark Knight, a movie that dropped a lot of gems. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And if you have watched it again if you didn't understand it. It is all a part of the plan. And we are nothing more than pieces on the chessboard. As a matter of fact, we are more like the pawns. And many don't even get that. Now, I'll admit I'm not a good chess player, but I know how the pieces work. And I just need us as black people to really, really think about this. Like I said, I did a video talking about how a lot of these cops in Chicago have gang connections. Why do they not talk about that? Why is that never in mainstream media? They'll probably do one little piece here and one little piece there, but then before you know it, they come right with it was 64 people that got shot in Chicago. This many people died. No suspects. They'll push that in every outlet, but I just did a video talking about how many of them have gang ties. I did in that same video talking about how one committed suicide when he got discovered for being a dirty, crooked cop. I did one where two of them got exposed for having gang connections and actually put down what gang they were part of. Like, and the thing is, it's not just conducive to Chicago. It's in every department. But notice, it's in a lot of departments that are around or patrol predominantly black areas. This is all by design.